Okay guys, in this video we're going to look at your 13 A and B notes, the rise of Western civilization and Western thought, or Western civilization as we know it. Here we go. Alright, economic effects of the Crusades. We need to start with an economic effects of the Crusades. The first one is an increased demand for Middle East products. Remember, in the Crusades we had Europeans who'd mostly spent their whole lives living on a manor and never experiencing other goods or other parts of the world, going down to the Middle East, getting access and getting exposed to these goods and things. So when they return to Europe, they want them still, so things like pepper, salt, whatever, they want it to make its way back to Europe. So this is going to stimulate the production of goods to trade in Middle East markets. So in exchange for getting Middle East goods and Eastern goods to come to Europe, the Europeans have to create things to send back, okay? And this is also going to encourage the use of credit and banking. Because remember, if we want to purchase in large portions or large quantities, it's a lot easier to use a line of credit or a check or things like that to pay instead of carrying large quantities of cash. So banks will grow in power. And a couple important economic concepts is during the late Middle Ages, the Catholic Church had a rule against usury. And what usury is it's the bank's practice of charging interest. So when a bank gives a loan, part of the reason the bank is willing to give loans is they charge you interest. So they make profit as you repay them on that loan. So like if you ever have student loans, maybe the cost of your tuition is $24,000 a year. Well, the bank's going to charge you a 6% loan, and on the end of the day, they're probably going to make $30,000 off of their $24,000 loan. And this is how banks make money, is by charging interest. Well, the Catholic Church had banned usury up until this point in time. So what we're going to have is we're going to start to have the secularization of northern Italy as they start to follow less Catholic rule and more worrying about what is good for them. Letters of credit are going to serve to expand the supply of money and expedite trade instead of transporting large quantities of cash, which can be dangerous or troublesome. We're going to be able to provide letters of credit or checks or early forms of credit cards. And then we're going to have some new accounting and bookkeeping practices that crop up during this period. Specifically, Arabic numerals begin to be used, which makes bookkeeping more efficient and better and more accurate. This is going to lead to the rise of Italian provinces. Specifically, Florence, Genoa, and Venice are going to become the center of trade in northern Italy. They have easy access to trade routes connecting Europe with Middle East markets. It's very easy to sail across the Mediterranean, land in northern Italy, and then ship your goods up over the Alps and into the rest of Europe, which will put those northern Italian cities as our centers for trade. They're also going to be, as we said, distribution of goods to Northern Europe, and they're initially independent city-states governed as republics. They have more freedom. There's no overarching Italian government at this point in time, so each of them has their own government. They each have their own tax laws. They each have the ability to set their own trade tariffs in whatever way they see fit, which allows them to make trade more efficient, faster, and cheaper, which makes them centers for trade. Alright, and then the last thing you need to know here from this video is about a book called The Prince, written by Niccolo Machiavelli. It's an early modern treatise on government, so it's his opinion on how a government should be set up and run. He supports a monarchy, and he supports the absolute power of the monarch, so he believes that the monarch should have total control. In it, he maintains that the end always justifies the means. So no matter what you do, as long as the result is good, it's okay. And then he advises that one should not only do good when it's possible, but do evil sometimes when it's necessary. And here is a quote that reflects that, and that's all for this video.